Okay, well, hi. How are you? We'll just start off.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. My name is Juno, by the way. I'm going to be interviewing you today. My voice is a little shot, and I do apologize, but we
You're
here.
totally fine. I feel that. I'm like, something is in the air.
Yes, like literally, I cannot talk today, but we're just gonna run through it, and we're gonna have a great time. And I like to break the ice just before we even get started, like doing anything. How was your day today? Like, how are you feeling right now? Like, how's
Aw,
it going?
good. No, I feel that. It's been good. It's been chill. I just got back in town yesterday, so just been like getting my life back together. Um and yeah, worked a little bit, worked out for like 1 second, and here we are. How's
Right, she's
your day been?
great. You know what? My day's been really good, honestly. Besides being sick, I've been prepping for this interview. So
Aw.
excited to get everything going. And I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are because I'm pretty sure you've never heard of us before. But we are a collective, and basically we specialize in artistry and creatives. Like we love you guys, everything that you guys do. I started Charisma Collective as a creative myself. I also do music, so it's just kind of a way to kind of like build a community of artists, but also like give you guys opportunities to like have a platform and have like a community that you can come to. So
That's
yeah.
so fire. Also, ooh, yay, I want to hear your music.
Oh, it is on all platforms and we will get there. But today is
Okay.
about you. Well, my name is Juno, and today we have the lovely Ash Leone in the building with our Behind the Music segment for Charisma Collective. And I'm so, so happy to have you here, Ash. It's been a pleasure, and we've heard your new project, and we're just super excited to like dive into it. So, without further ado, first question is, who is Ash Leone?
Thank you for having me also. And I'm really glad you listened to the project. I'll just give you this little spiel. I'm from originally outside of Philadelphia, from Bluebell, which is like 30, 40 minutes outside the city. Um, did music, like just always loved it, always sang, started playing guitar when I was like 8, and then I started playing around the city in high school, decided to go to college, dropped out, but I went to Belmont in Nashville,
Oh,
and then
wow.
I just played around there. I ended up getting a publishing deal there, which allowed me to come out to LA, which I always wanted to move to. And then I recently got out of that deal, but now I'm just living here. I've been writing for other people, I'd say for the last 4 or 5 years, while simultaneously doing my own artist stuff. But recently I've just been way more focused on myself and my own artistry. So musically, that's pretty much how the journey's gone.
Definitely. I love that. Did you know that like you were always gonna do music? Like I know you say you dropped out of like college, but like what was your major like when you were
It
in
was it was music business. I was like, I mean, I always, since I was little, I was like, I want to be a singer. And then I feel like, I loved like the superstars like Beyonce, Rihanna. Like I was like, oh, and then it slowly changed to like, okay, I want to like sing and write music too, like Ed Sheeran or Neo, and like that would be cool. And then it went to like just me finding like where I fit genre wise, or not even genre wise, but just what speaks to me, because I feel like I explored a lot of going through different genres just from writing and stuff. So I always wanted to do it, but it definitely changed form as I've now become older, especially being in the industry now. It's definitely changed shape of like, what do I really want? Um, but yeah, I majored in music business, and then I dropped out because I was like, I'll be an educated artist, I'll know my shit. And then I was like,
right.
not necessary. I had nothing going on though when I dropped out. Like I started waitressing and just was like, woo, like let's hope something happens. I was just releasing music and whatever. So
I love that. So it sounds like you like really like betted on yourself during that time and you took that leap of faith, which like obviously brought you here today, right? Like
yes, yes. No, this is true. I know I was blind. I was like, I don't know, let's just see. But yeah, I am glad, definitely glad where it's brought me so far.
That's awesome. And I'm happy to hear that like you are just like living in your essence and you're living your dream right now and just
Aw.
building yourself. I think that's awesome because I think
Yeah.
like so many people like get in the industry and like they don't know where to go and sometimes they fall off because they're just like, it gets to be too much. So it's cool that like you're still here, you're still growing and you come from point A to point B. So that's really cool.
Thank you. It's definitely been, it's been the should I stop? Should I not? But like we're here.
Right, but we hear like, and I
Yeah.
swear to God, I've said I'm gonna quit music so many times, and like
Yeah.
I've never done it.
I know
I'm
you're like, but I love it.
right.
But
It's like I'm in it. But that kind of like brings me to my next question, actually, for you. We're really about to dive deep into the music right now, and so with this new project, can we just dive a little bit deep into it? Can you tell us about, maybe the personal experiences that shaped Words Don't Make It Out, and maybe how you felt just like creating this project as a whole?
okay, so it definitely was kind of so Vatican I wrote in 2020. So but the other ones I wrote probably last year. So like it's a span of let's say 3 years of like emotion and like growth, I guess. Um but I knew I wanted to make a project and I always said I wanted to like lock in with like one or two producers, like make a body of work, have it all like make sense, not just pick random songs. It
Right.
did kind of start by picking random songs. Most of them I wrote in my room, just like alone. There was one week I wrote Off the Drugs, Lonely with You, and this song called Demons I put on SoundCloud like in the same week. I was just like emotional as fuck. I was like, oh my god, I don't know. But through like the last 2+ years, I've been in like my first like healthy relationship. I was just in toxic stuff beforehand. So I feel like a lot of it, which we can get into the videos, but like the concepts that the videos kind of like um take in its own way as well is
Hmm.
like I'm living in my own reality, which is sometimes altered by like high emotions. And I'm like, you did this shit. And then the week later, I'm like, but you really didn't. Like, you love me.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I guess you weren't. But like, yeah. So I feel like a lot of them are like snapshots of a moment that I definitely will unfortunately constantly go back to and feel. But I feel like writing them helped me grow and really like know myself more
Hmm.
because once I mean, some of them are difficult to write. And once I like admitted it to myself, then that led to conversations with whoever they need to be had with, or just like looking deeper within myself. I started going to therapy too, like last year, and I feel like that, along with everything, just kind of like opened up my eyes to stuff that I'm very big on like personal growth and like figuring myself out. And so I just feel like it was like kind of a collection of all of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
um,
like you would say it was like kind of like a coming of age story in a
yeah,
way.
yeah, if you will, yeah, for sure. And it's more so like I guess the hardships of it, not like the like I'm trying to write more positive stuff moving on, but
Okay.
like the heartache or sad, like it's just so easy for me to write songs like that because it's like a release for me. While when I'm happy, I'm like do do do, like I don't
Right.
write anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm like
Exactly.
chilling. Um, and so yeah, we can go into specifics if you want, but generally, like I think Looking to Escape I also wrote in 2020, which are like I feel like the two most like darker songs.
Um,
And then the other ones go into like, I guess, waking up to what is a healthy relationship and like, oh, you not being completely obsessed with me is probably healthy and means that you do like me, but like I'm used to like, what
right.
do you mean?
Like
What do you
what's
mean you're
going on
not
here?
possessive? Yeah,
I
like
love
you
that. I
don't
love
care then. Yeah.
that.
Um,
That's
so it
really
was a
cool.
learning curve, really.
Yeah, and I can see that and like hear that in your music. And
Mm.
like, would you say definitely since you wrote them back in 2020 and like you're just now like releasing, like how does that feel? Like, does it still feel fresh? Like those emotions are like, do you still feel super tied to these songs? Because I know like as an artist, like we start writing new stuff, so we like get super
Right,
excited. And
right.
how does that feel?
I feel it kind of goes in waves because I feel like at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm still rocking with this project, which means that I know I'll be proud of it when it comes out. Because there's some stuff I've released that I'm like, oh, I like this for a couple months, and I'm like, I could
Mm,
never listen to it again. Like I might take it down. Like I don't know.
of course.
But this I feel like proud of, and I feel like it will catch me off guard because some songs I don't really. Also, once I release stuff, I don't really listen to it again. Like
What?
I mean, this I've listened to most because
Right.
I mean, maybe played it twice since I released it.
Yeah.
But because I'm just like, let me grasp like what's going on. Because I very much just put it out and was like, okay, like I don't know, like what else do I need to post or trying to like grow
Right.
stuff rather than like, sitting in it. So I've been trying to sit in it a little bit more, but I do feel like next week I'm locking in. I've been working on the next project here and there, but like now we're locking in and I feel more like I can like really
Like
go
breathe and like
somewhere now. Yeah, exactly. Like
right.
it feels like a big release. It had me a little bit nervous to put out, but I also feel like, okay, good, like that's done and over with, but still, excited
Right.
to talk about it. And I do feel connected to it, but some days I'll feel more and I'm like, damn, I feel the song, or some days I'm like, oh, thank God
Right.
I've grown. I don't feel like that anymore. So it's just kind of goes back and forth.
I love that. And I was gonna ask you, like, when you say nervous, like why though? Like, because you're so amazingly talented. And I think like your fan base is just rising. So it's like, why nervous more so for you?
I think nervous for a couple reasons. Number one, because it's very vulnerable. Like, I guess some of it, like sharing it, if I think about it too hard, I'm like a little bit embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, everyone knows this. But
Right.
then I'm like, that's why I'm trying to create a conversation around it because I'm like, those are the emotions that like really when you talk with your friends about it or you get deep to it, like people are like, yeah, I've been there. Like I felt like that. But you don't want to admit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so I felt while I felt nervous about it, I also felt like proud of it and like it's been cool to hear anyone be like, "Oh, like I just found this and I'm connecting with it." I'm like, "I'm sorry, but also welcome." Like I feel you. So that's been really cool. And I think also just I've put pressure on myself along like my journey of like, okay, maybe like this will be the thing that will really
right.
level up. And I realize it's just a slow build, and that's kind of how I want it to be anyway. Like,
Of
I
course.
think mentally that'd be best for me. And so yeah, it was just those two things really.
Yeah, no, thank you for describing that because, like I definitely can relate, like being scared and just like not knowing, how like the people that are listening are going to receive you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I love that. Like, you're not in a race. Like,
No.
artists are like, I need to be here right now. Like, and if not, I'm just not happy. But it's cool to see like you be so humble and like be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait my turn because I know it's coming. And like
Mhm.
that's the vibe that I'm getting from you, and I love that. And that kind of like segues me into my next question with you. I would definitely say that like my favorite songs on the album would have to be You and Off the Drugs, girl, because baby, you put your foot in them songs, and I have cried maybe a couple times off the drugs. I have related, and I know a lot of people have probably related to you as well. And I was gonna ask you just like, can you tell us just a little bit about what it was like working on You with Cam Griff, I believe, that you
Yes.
created that with. And I just want to know, like, those two specific songs, like, how, when they were created, like, how was the feeling for you?
Okay. So also I'm so happy to hear that. I'm not happy to hear that you cried to them, but I'm like, I feel you again. Like, yes,
Baby, the emotion is there,
yes.
okay?
Unfortunately, yes. Like it's so there. So okay, I'll if I get sidetracked, I can like go on like paths, so just lead me back.
It's
But
okay.
okay. So you with Cam is like one of my like friends. I feel like working in the industry, they're far and few between, kind of like you'll just work with people. But Cam is like great person, first off. Um,
Right.
and I met him, I want to say like 2 years ago. My manager at the time connected us to do like an acoustic song version of one of the songs, and we've just kept in touch since. So I'm really glad that this has like seen the light of day and we have our first song out together. He just will send me like guitar loops sometimes, which I'm blessed that he sends me guitar.
Right.
And I was maybe like that weekend or something, like whatever I wrote it about happened. And, I was in my room. I was a little high, a little wine. I was like, I'm emotional right now. And I don't know, like when I'm like that, sometimes the lines come to me first, or I was just like, I need to maybe just see if I can write something. So I put it on and I've kind of freestyled a lot of it melodically, some lyrics, and then I went back in and wrote it. But it was a pretty fast write because I felt very emotional at the time. And
Right.
then I sent it to Cam and he was like, "This is sick." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Because after I write a song, I like never know. Like after I wrote off the drugs, my manager at the time was like, "This is good." And I was like, "Is it?" Like I can't tell. I don't know. And
Yeah.
so with that one too, it was like, well, that one I played the guitar on myself. I really just wrote both of them in my room, just like
Yeah, just having fun with it, right?
yeah, having fun in my emotions. I was
Yeah.
like, listen, you did, yeah. And so that was like the same thing. I will say, off the drugs kind of felt like um kind of an introduction to like a new era, if you will. I
Wow.
had a meeting with this A&R, um, and nothing ever really came of it, but of the conversation, it kind of started to alter my thinking because he was like, you got to figure out what some of the other stuff I played him, he's like, "These are good. They're, like, well written, whatever, but, like, they're not making me feel much." He was like, and, like, artists that I love, like SZA, like Jessie Reyez, BB Bradley, like, they really, like, take your heart and they'll tell you
That I
whatever they need
appreciate
to tell
it.
you, you know? And
Yeah.
he was like, "I feel like that's what you also do, but you need to tap into yourself. Like, you need to really talk your shit." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, like, let me go myself." So I was like journaling. I was like, what topics should I write about? And so I feel like that conversation started to give me the confidence or like tap back into how I maybe used to write before I got a publishing deal. I don't know. It tapped me back into something that I was like,
Right.
let me just be honest.
Mhm.
And so to see that that resonated with people was really cool. And then I feel like after that kind of gave me like the concept of the project of like, okay, like let me just be real honest about shit. Like stop trying to sound cool, like just what's going on.
Right.
So I feel like it was kind of a progression to that. But yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, that's definitely a beautiful story, and I definitely feel you. And like, it's definitely so cool to just like hear how you've written these songs, and like you're definitely an emotional being like me, so I can
Yeah.
relate. And like as women, I definitely think we think with like emotion over actual logic sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
And it's
Yeah.
like that so much, so much. And that kind of brings me to like my next question with you. What does like a typical studio session with Ashley look like? If I was in there right now, like what would I be seeing just like as a fly on the wall?
Um, it would depend. So, okay, let's say for like songs of my own,
Okay.
I usually just write alone.
Hmm.
Um, if it's like me and a producer, like if we're starting from scratch, because I was gonna say, which I forgot to like double back on. When I was saying I wanted to like make a project with just locking with a couple people, I did end up being able to do that with Mick Schultz because a
Hmm.
lot of them I wrote alone in my room. Even like Looking to Escape was just an acapella in my room. Like, but I was able to go to the studio with him after he'd work on some of them. He did like 5 out of the 7. So that
Okay.
made it like a very like collaborative thing, which that was really cool. So if it were something like that, like he'll be working or be like, what do you think about this progression? And I'm
Yeah.
like, is it inspiring? Is it not? Am I like, just show me anything, let's write anything, like how am I feeling? And then from there, I'll just kind of like sit on the couch and like hum and like write like in
Right?
my notes. Yeah, I'm not like loud with it. I'm just or it's either that if I already feel something or we're getting like an SM7 mic and just like melodies in the room and then cutting it up.
Wow.
So it's one or the other and then I'll usually just collaborate with the producer and be like, what do you think of this? Do you like this? Like, do you whatever?
Right.
And then we'll cut a demo and whatever. It's pretty like um reversely though, if I'm like writing for someone else or I have a co-writer, very collaborative. Um like I want to know, I'll be very open about what I'm talking about because if I am not, then I don't feel like I connect to the song. And then I'm always like, I just want to write alone. Or if it's like me writing with you, then I'm like, tell me what's going on. Let's talk
Right.
about it. And then we start diving into it. So there are definitely different processes, but for my own stuff, it's still pretty like in my head to notes to then let me share what I've come up with.
Right.
So yeah.
And so you'd say like you like intimate studio sessions, like you don't like a lot of people there, like
Yeah, I do not like a lot of people there. Like I've been in sessions that like people pull up, there's like 10 people and I just get like shy. I'm like, "Oh my god." Like
right, get
I
out the
just get
studio.
anxious. Yeah, like that is not my vibe. I think it's cool and I wish I like was like that, but I'm too like, oh god, like now you know that I just had a like mental breakdown a week ago. Hey, like I can't like flip it on, flip it off. I'm very much
Yeah.
like locked in or like we're vibing. So yeah, I like there to be like not a lot of people, maybe 3.
Max, literally max, and
Yeah,
I
like max.
understand.
Yeah.
I think too many people in a studio can definitely like take away from your creativity sometimes as well too. So like that intimateness, like I need that like all
Right.
the time.
Okay, yeah, you feel me. Or it's like but yeah, I feel like when there's a bunch of people, I will say there was one camp I did for an artist and there were like 8 of us constantly working, but everyone was on the same vibe.
Mhm.
Everyone was chill, like, okay, we're gonna split up here. 3 of us are writing this, 5 of them are in there. Like it still was a very fluid, like that was the most comfortable I worked with a lot of people. And that was like a very cool energy because everyone was building off each other. But
Right.
everyone was on the same vibes and on like not like, hey, look at me. You know what? Like that shit, I just like, I'm gonna get introverted and be like, okay, hey, like
Like,
I'm good.
okay,
Yeah,
in the
yeah, pop
corner.
off, but I'm gonna just be here. Yeah.
Right. I love that. I love that you're very like, serious about your craft and like when you're in the studio, that's really telling and just like how your music is made as well. So, that's a
Aw.
beautiful thing that you have like really a great aura when you go in and I think that's important as well. And that kind of like brings me this question that I'm about to ask you next. I just recently seen this for you and super excited for you. I seen that Diddy actually like sampled your voice.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? Like when you saw that or like heard that, like what was the story behind that?
I was shocked. So I it was random. Like
Okay,
I did like a remix cover of Distance by Tory Lanez, which is the original song, like
right.
2.5 years ago.
Mm.
Um, and I loved the song, and then I was like, I wanted to cover it, and some of it I was like, I'm not saying this shit. So I was like, let me write it from the female's perspective. I could resonate with it, whatever I was going through. This was maybe actually 3 years ago, to be honest. This was like
Wow.
2020, I think. Or yeah, maybe beginning of 2021. And I posted like it on TikTok, and it's the first and really only thing that like went like did like people, it was, I mean it wasn't like viral, but it like went and I was like, okay, shit. And so I guess from that, I don't know if he found it on um TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But
Yeah.
the producer, I want to say his name correctly. I think it's Dinuzzo. It's
Okay.
Dinuzzo. He
Mhm.
sampled it, and I remember him hitting me, kind of being like, "Hey, is it cool if I flip this?" And I was like, "Sure, like whatever, do what you want." Like, and then he hit me maybe 4 months ago and was like, "Hey, I think we got." Well, actually, Cam
Mhm.
was in the studio with Diddy, I
Wow.
believe, and I think he tried to get me to go and I couldn't go. And then he was like, "Bro, I think your voice is on one of these songs." And I was like, "No way." And then he was like, "No, I swear." And then later, producer hits me like, "Hey, I think we got one." And then it's that song and I was like, "Cam, you peeped that?" Yes, apparently. And then it's always a crapshoot. You're like, "Is that actually going to come out?"
Yeah.
I've learned to get real neutral, level headed about shit.
Right.
Like
Don't
I'm
even.
like, while that's exciting, like we never know how shit's gonna go. And so then he posted the like Los Angeles one. Um and then I was tagged in it and I was like, so is it coming out on the album? Because it was like a part of the album rollout. And then they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit. So
Wow.
then I talked to Chaz, who was the original producer on Distance, which was cool because I was like, thank you for letting me like do that and not like coming after me. And also like cool that now we're all like that is a part of this song. So that we're still getting I'm still waiting to get my credit on the credits, but that's hopefully on the works.
Right.
But it was like a really cool, very random experience that for me was like, yeah, I'm just really glad that it found its way and that they liked it to use it as the intro, and feeling grateful that all of that played out how it did.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And that's awesome. Like that's huge. Like Diddy's huge. So
I know. I know. I was kind of like, and like, I had a publishing deal and I was like trying to get cuts, and then I feel like I was like, you know what? I don't know anymore. Like, let's
yeah.
just, and then I feel like once I let go of it, like things will trickle in. And this is like the biggest thing I've been a part of. So I'm like, maybe I just need to keep like going with the flow of whatever,
Right.
stop
And
trying
you
so
do
hard.
you. Right.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, so it's definitely validating because I was like, that's cool that it was just like me and my guitar in my room and then ended up on a Diddy album. I feel like I haven't actually comprehended that either, really, but
I love that. I love that so much. Like, congratulations, number one.
thank you.
That is
Thank
a big, big moves, big moves. And, hopefully we'll be hearing more samples. And I want to hear some Diddy. I hope we get a Diddy feature. Like, that
you.
would go
Yes.
crazy.
That's
Ashley
the
Young
next goal.
feature.
Yeah,
That
no,
would
that
be
would be
crazy.
crazy.
So we're gonna manifest it right now, or just
Yes,
like I'm just manifesting a big future for you because it's
yes.
already here and it's already in the works.
Thank
And that
you.
kind of like brings me into my last couple of questions for you. This next question, I just want to know, like, obviously we did talk a little bit about the fans and like, obviously you being nervous, but what do you want your fans to like take away from Words Don't Make It Out?
Um, the takeaway I'd say is like if you resonate with it,
Excuse me.
no, you're good. Is like if you resonate with it, don't feel alone because I'm feeling all this shit. Like I feel like they're feelings that you can, at least for me, I overthink a lot. I'll get in a role of it. And I feel like for me, um, I was like ashamed of feeling some of the things I felt or wrote about or like felt justified. It's just a whole spectrum of it. So like definitely I feel you. You're not alone if you feel any of what I'm writing. And for me, I just think that's big for music because there's artists that can do that for me. So if I can do that for other people, that's really cool. Um, and then if you aren't feeling it super hard, like it's just a good, if I can create a vibe for you to like drive to or like drink some wine to or whatever, that's also
Yeah.
really cool. So I would say those two things, honestly.
I love that. No, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that because, I definitely feel like this album speaks volume. This project definitely speaks so much volume because I think it's going to be so relatable. And it's already so relatable to the point where it's like I'm already crying at some of the songs. So I just imagine how other people feel when they like hear your voice for the first time. It's so sultry and you give me eargasms, like
Thank
literally.
you. Yes.
Girl, just do what you gotta do. And like, you give it to us. And like that, like actually that goes into my next question with you. Do you think like we're gonna get a tour? Like I want to know. Like,
I would love that. Honestly, I'm like back in my delusional state of like I really am trying to manifest that I'll open for Daniel Caesar on tour. There's
oh
literally nothing in the works like at all. Like I don't know anyone from his team. That's like not a thing at all,
yeah.
but I'm trying to manifest it. Um
Okay.
I would love to go on tour. I think like the way that things are working right now, it would probably, once that happens, I'd be like an opening act,
Right.
unless something absolutely changes in the next couple months.
Hmm.
But I definitely want to do a show in LA before I'm moving to New York in December.
Oh
So
wow.
I want to do a show in LA before I move. And then once I'm in New York, I think I'll play out a good amount more. So right now it's looking like LA or New York will be the future shows. Unless someone plucks me up and wants to take me on tour.
I hear you. No, I definitely know because like some people are like definitely ask her if she's going
Aw,
to her.
I
So
would love to. And also if there's like cities, like I'll definitely try to figure out. I mean, that would be cool. I'll think about it, but like logistically, how everything's looking is looking like a pop-up show here and there for sure.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. Like, as long as I get to be front row one day, like Ashley on the show, I will be just
Okay.
fine. Like I will be
Yes.
heartbroken. I got you.
Okay, I
And
love
it's
it.
exciting. And like New York, why New York? Like, why are you deciding like to make that big change?
It's kind of like a slew of things. Um, but it just feels like it's time to I'm from the East Coast, so I feel like it's time to go back there for a little bit. I also have always wanted to move there, and so I feel like I'm at a point right now that I can.
Mhm.
Um, and then my boyfriend works out there, and so we were just talking about it, so we're just gonna move. We're just gonna move out there. See
Yeah.
what's up.
And just
Yeah. So
kind of like do something different. And I love that because
exactly.
like I feel like when it's like time to like move to the next chapter of your life, and you're in this growing process. So I think New York is a very good move. Like, you're already in LA, you've seen what LA has to offer you.
Right.
Now it's time to go to New York and try to
Right.
be bigger and better. And
Right.
that's dope. So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. I'm
I
like
wish you luck.
definitely, yeah, if anyone watches this and is in New York, hit me up because I know like 5 people. But
I'm wishing you all the luck because that's awesome again. And just moving on to my next question, because I was seeing that we have like probably about like 6 minutes left on
I
this.
can't believe that.
I know because I feel like it just went by so quick, but
Yeah,
no worries. This next question is just, and we can make this a two-part one. How do you navigate, just the balance, but just staying authentic to your own artistic vision, and just meeting the expectations maybe of like the industry and your audience? And what advice do you have to like give young artists that are looking to get into this industry? Because it's hard. It's not
it
easy.
is. Yeah. Um, okay, the first part was how do you stay authentic? Um, I think it's through a lot of trial and tribulation, and I think lately, like in the last let's say year and a half, I feel like, to be super like straight up about it,
Mhm,
I've like kind of cycled. I feel like, I my publisher and I split ways, my manager and I split ways, and I kind of am like restarting, or have been. And
mhm,
I think while I was like, oh shit, it was like a very necessary thing for me, because I feel like I've actually am a lot better than I was, but like if I have too many opinions of what I should be doing, I can start to get lost in like, oh well, like my manager, my publisher think that this song's really good, so like maybe I should do that.
Right.
However, I don't know if I really like it, but like it's good, I think. So I feel like the the silence in a way was really necessary and helpful for me to create, or what the body of work ended up to be.
Mm,
Um it was kind of necessary for that because I feel in my body like I'll ride for this project and for these songs. And I have been for the last like 2.5 years. So I'm like, I know I'm not just gonna flip. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's long enough in me that I'm like, okay, I definitely need to speed up the process because I'm not giving myself 2.5 years to sit on some shit to be like, I like it, let's go.
yeah.
Um, but I think it was just kind of like a forced thing. And now I kind of look at the project as like my thesis statement, if you will, of like if we're starting here and I'm like, listen, let's like get down and deep with shit, like that's only how it's gonna progress. So I feel like I've just been also getting more comfortable with like accepting who I am and like showing who I am because I'll just be like shy or like, oh man, I wish I was like that sometimes, but I'm like, bitch, you're not. So here we are. And so I think it's just been like a self-growth thing, really, and it's also very big for me. I was always like, I don't want to be in a deal and told who to be. Like I would be miserable. I don't work well like that. And so I think it's just been kind of like a internal battle of like, you better be authentic to yourself. So
Right.
that's that. And then what was the second question?
Sorry. And well, and honestly, if this like cuts off on us for any reason, we can like just go back, we can like start it over. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I'll just like send you a quick link really quick.
Okay.
So we can
I'll
just
be quick though. I'll be quick.
just really like, what advice you have to like anybody else looking to get into the industry and what's and like, a sign off, like where we can find your music and what's next for you.
Okay. Definitely, I'd say if you're wanting to get into the industry, especially with how it is right now, like I say just like be true to what you want to do, like show it. I hate social media, but like you gotta do it, or do some open mic nights, like get out into the community, whether it's on social media, in person. I would honestly recommend both, but like see who else is out there to collaborate with, meet, but do not get lost in the sauce of people telling you who to be,
Definitely.
how to do shit. Cause like doing this, like most people don't know like this will work and it doesn't work, or this won't work and it does. So like really don't put so much emphasis or pressure, I'd say, on like the heads of stuff and whatever. Like lay low, do your thing, and like your everything will come. And once the fan base or number whatever comes, everyone else comes.
Right.
So definitely do your thing. And yeah,
No,
just
thank
keep
you.
on going.
Thank you so much, Ash. And like, just for the sake of time, where can everybody find your music? And it's been an amazing interview with you today, by the
Yeah,
way.
it's been so nice talking with you. You're such a vibe. I'm like, I want to hang out. Um, it's just under Ash Leone on Spotify, Apple, like literally wherever, of a YouTube, with videos for the project. So check them out. We're still rolling out a couple more. And yeah, everything is just really, if you type in Ash Leone, you'll find it, I think.
Well, as you guys heard, that's where you can find Ashley Own in the building. Her project Words Don't Make It Out is out on all platforms right now, and you guys can go listen to that. And yeah, thank you so much, Ash, for being here with us
Thank
behind the
you.
music.
No,
And
this was so awesome. Thank you for having me.
no problem. And I know it's gonna cut off on us, so if anything, I will DM you or
Okay,
whatever.
yes.
But
DM me your music because I'm excited to hear it.
yes, I would love your honest opinion, all of
Okay,
that,
yeah.
all of that. So